Seeker needs to stay alive, needs help from Batchford. He just gets a grenade! That's enough! Every time you say that, Harry, they throw things! You need to stop! Norma! Oh no! Oh my God! Hello and welcome back to the EGL Spring Series. I'm Sharzy1, joined no doubt by Jimbo, the man to my right. Jim, we had a great series in our winners semi-finals. It was Cartel up against Divine Mind, and we've given you a box of crayons, and you're going to explain to us exactly a play that you've seen and that you liked.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was kind of like a textbook play that you kind of see in a lot of doubles matches, but I wanted to highlight it, just kind of show how efficient that Shady and Legend are at this kind of play. Now, the situation I was talking about was they've just fresh slayed Divine Minds, and both of them are now spawning inside red base right here on the back spawns. Now, the play that makes it so textbook is how perfectly Legend and Shady play this. Is Shady is around about P2, and then you have Legend around about top mid. Now, Legend pressures, he drops down and actually pressures the needles, and he's pressuring these guys off spawn inside a blue base over here. And what he's doing is he's forcing them to push him. So the blue boys are then seeing Legend down in the needles and pressuring him right here. And both of them are kind of stood around this area. And then what ends up happening is Shady comes with a perfect flank around the P side. And he kind of just pressures them and pushes them out towards. So they kind of have to pressure Legend. And all Legend does is he backs off. He goes inside the car one and he just plays his life. That's all he does. And he just allows Shady enough time to come in from behind, clean off 2 1-shots. And it's such a simple play. And it's what you can just rinse and repeat in doubles, and it happens in all maps, but it was such a clean situation. It was just, and I guarantee there was no communication between Shady and Legend, right? Shady just knew straight away that Legend was pressuring it, and Legend knew that Shady was going to be there on the push. So you just know that it's just how well they are in sync together, and it's nothing the blue team can do, right? The counteract to it is you have to push Legend, you have to chase Legend, you have to go back inbound here. They have to fly towards Legends and needles, and Legend's just going to run away, right? He's just going to run away and play his life while Shady's making this huge long flank. And we're going into depth about such a simple play, but it's good to emphasize on it because it shows how in sync and how easy it is for the boys on Cartel, but it also just shows such a simple play in 2v2 environment. And it was tough situation for Divine Minds to kind of counter. They're off spawn, they kind of need to push a kill, but how can you push against such perfection of play? It's definitely tough to see, but I just wanted to highlight that and that you guys kind of look to see it happen more often in the next series or any series you see play.
Well, what's important to talk about, Jim, about that play is that could have been the catalyst, the springboard that it was looking so good for Divine Mind up until that point, and then you see that one pivotal play, a bait and switch, a perfectly done, and then you get 2 clean kills. And then what happens is we see 2 clean kills, and that's 2 kills in the scoreboard, that's whatever. But what happens then is they know exactly where they're going to spawn from then on out in every single gun engagement from that one perfect play.
Yeah, and then they'll keep on doing that. They'll just keep on going back and forth from each spawn. They'll shove them on a 2 spawn every single time, and it, like I said, it's so hard for Divine Mind to counter that, especially against such powerful players and their slaying ability. But just try and notice it a bit more. Anyone in the stream watching and wanting to learn from it, watch how efficient they are and how they collapse on any target. They'll do it on every single map. Say, for example, on Plaza, we saw Divine Minds actually doing it in the previous series where they made the opponent spawn S1, and both of them were on. One was on LR, one was in blue, and they pushed it. And it's when you start to notice it, you realize how efficient these players actually are at doing it, and it's amazing to see.
Well, no doubt a team that's going to be looking to try and stop those plays today, Jim, is going to be Tier 3. They're in our winners finals with Cartel. It's about to start. First game is going to be on Plaza. Tier 3 is 2 French players, Kronos and Newbie. And you spoke to me about how the name is maybe taking a poke at themselves of being Tier 3 French players.
Yeah, the French teams, I actually have a lot of respect for the French team. When I played with Cartel, I kind of got a bit more familiar with them, but they're all actually quite a close unit. I know Legend and Shady actually quite often will play 8s for like a lower tier French teams and help them kind of improve and play with them. So it's amazing to see them get to the finals, the winners finals of this tournament. So I'll be interested to see how much they've learned from playing against, the Cartel boys in practicing 8s and stuff like that, and see how they do.
Well, I said in the intro video that we're going to try and stop the pesky French from getting all the money, Jim. And what we see now is a Tier 3 French team in the winners finals. So 4 French players, an all French affair. And Can the Padawans become the masters here? Shady and Legend, no doubt, all the success has been for them, and Kronos and Newbie looking to match stride for stride as they possibly can. Shady with the overshield, Kronos in a world of hurt immediately off the rip, and still plenty of overshield to play with, which means Shady can push that envelope, make it a double kill, 3 kills to 0. This is an impressive start, and not what you wanted to see if you're a fan of the boys on tier 3.
Yeah, definitely rough at the start, and I guess the counter to Legend and Shady helping out these boys play is Legend and Shady know how these boys play, so they're going to be able to counter that very, very well. And it looks they're being a lot more aggressive, it feels like, compared to the previous series. Like, they're giving no respect. They're being, they're pushing them constantly back. Look at them fly as you see it, like Shady up on the pillar, Legend pushing for U-turn, isolating these two players, and just forcing them to challenge. And what can you do in that situation? You can split apart. You're being forced into battles that you're not comfortable or not in a good position to do, so it's tough.
You almost feel like when you're watching Cartel, they get the impression that they're just never ever going to die, as we see Legend pay the price for the first time over a minute and 20 seconds into the game. You see Cartel lose their first life, but not before answering back. And Shady now on a killing spree, and he never stops moving, Jim. He's just always sprinting somewhere with purpose.
It's good, it shows how much of a read he has on the map. He knows exactly where he's putting the other team on spawn. He knows exactly where he should push. And he knows how aggressive he can push those situations. Like, he knows straight away where Legend is, and he knows that he can pressure snipe, block the spawn, force the other team to blue. He sees Legend pushing the guy's blue, kills one guy. He can kind of tell that the player is down pushing yard, and he's checking for it. He knows where the players are before the players know where they are. That's one thing I definitely learned from playing with them, is these boys know where you're going to go before you know where you're going to go. And how do you counter that? How do you counter someone basically knowing what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do?
Yeah, it's crazy to see that they never seem to be caught by surprise, Jim. They never, there's never a player behind them backstabbing. It always seems to be they know where every player is on the map at every given time, and they're always passing that information. Look at this from Shady. Sees that player, knows exactly that Legend is going to get the kill on the Kronos, and immediately looks and turns his attentions toward the overshield player. And Newbie gets the burn, but it's 11 kills to 1, and we're already in tough territory for tier 3.
Yeah, like I say, he knew straight away where that player was going to spawn. He knew he was going to spawn in blue there. I would have liked to have killed the player before he got the overshield. At least got the overshield. I feel like that was a kind of a bad giveaway of the overshield right there. Like, it's not going to matter too much, but if to really critique him, you really need to grab that overshield, right? You're in, you have full map control. The player's off respawn. He's managed to burn the overshield. But it's not going to matter versus players like this. But you've got to critique that still.
It's important to say that although he gets the kill and he doesn't exactly get the overshield, he's ahead by so much, there is some flaws there, and maybe he doesn't get that overshield because he's not taking it as seriously, Jim, because they're ahead by so much. And maybe in a closer game he makes sure to get that overshield unlocked and make sure he pushes home any advantage and squeezes and pushes any advantage he possibly can and milks it. But Legend gets a double kill there and 15 kills to 6, and it looks as though it's just a complete mismatch here so far.
Yeah, definitely, and something Legend actually just done right there, and it's something I actually noticed, I think, from watching a couple 1v1s, is Legend went to that specific part of gold, and it actually forces an S1 spawn. There's something I've seen in 1v1s actually happen quite a lot, and it's cool to see him use it in a 2v2 environment where if he goes to that Legend gold, it basically blocks a major spawn and forces him on an S1 spawn. I don't understand why it blocks blue, but I mean, I guess it's a furthest point away from him, and it just makes him spawn S1 that isolates them, right? He doesn't need to push blue straight away. He can put that, so it's definitely a heads-up play by him, and yeah, it's domination right now.
You can understand he's standing top gold, it maybe stops some of the lower spawns towards that dip area, but like you say, maybe it's just because blue is right in contact with that yellow and he can get there very, very quickly. But we're going to see another overshield. It's probably not going to matter too much in the destiny of this game. As you can see, the boys on Cartel not really paying much attention to it, and there it is popping up, and Newbie's going to go for it, but again he gets the burn, but 20 kills to 7, and it's just a complete drubbing at the moment.
Yeah, you notice how different they play that, right? The Cartel boys will go for the kills instead of the overshield. And a lot of teams will wait and play it slow, grab that overshield, secure the overshield, then make the push, right? But the Cartel boys are like, do you know what? No, we're going to go kill them and then go for the overshield. Now, I believe it was Newbie made the play and got the burn. Again, another situation where it doesn't really matter, the Cartel still walk away with a kill and it's a burn overshield. But you can see where their priority is at. They prefer pushing one-shots instead of going for a power-up and playing it slower. It's a difference in gameplay right there.
It's an interesting point you're raising. You might think, oh, why don't they go for the overshield? But it's very hard, Jim, for a dead man to pick up the overshield. So if, it opens up the whole map for themselves once they secure those couple of kills, and they only need one more now to put the writing on the wall. There it is. rubber stamp it. That's it. Game, set, match. 25-8. I really feel like that's probably in doubles terms, Jim, a stake.
Oh, that's. I mean, is it a stake? I think to me, I always class a stake in doubles as 25-5 because it's still a 20 kill lead, which is kind of still punishable. But I don't know if you guys noticed right then, but the Legends player on Driveway right there, he ran out of ammo. He ran into that battle with 4 bullets, and he just naturally frost slid onto a pistol, reloaded, and killed the guy. So smooth and just such a simple thing to him. It's just like he ran out of ammo, didn't panic. He found a pistol, grabbed it, reloaded, got the kill, carried on with his day. It's perfect play.
He's a bit like John Wick. You'll find something to kill you with, and that's what he did. Found the ammunition line on the floor, reloaded that gun, and sent him to the respawn screen. And with the way that game has gone, Jim, we're going into truth now. It's very much looking like it's going to be a clean sweep.
Yeah, these guys, I feel like they have the tier 3 number right there. Like I say, they've got they know how these players play. They have full confidence over that, and they're just getting ready to steam. It seems like Cartel in like a winners finals or grand finals are just pure dominant. You know, that's when they know it's going to be supposedly the best team they're supposed to be facing, and they put on their A game, and it's just, you know, straight dominance.
Yep, these are the matches that matter the most. The money matches, if you will. Legend and Shady combine to get a kill onto Newbie, and that we might have seen another camouflage burn. Yes, we have. Again, we're seeing the boys on tier 3 get the burns of these power-ups, but that seems to be almost the best they can do, Jim.
Yeah, again, it seems like a common thing for Cartel, right? They're not putting as much pressure on to getting the power up. They'd rather get the kill from it, which, I mean, in a doubles game mode where the kills are what matter the most, you know, it doesn't really matter. If it was objective, I'd say differently. You know, the power up is very, very important. But look here on the Legend and the spawn kill. This is something we haven't really seen. It's that spawn kill where he notices Shady is at one point of the map, and he walks up bottom mid on the TP and bottom mid on a certain side of it where he's favored to like red side of the map, and spawn kills the player in blue and just pressures them. Like, what are you gonna do when you're already one shot off spawn? You know what I mean? You're already on the back foot, and it's such good pressure from him.
Yeah, it's so tough really to, you know, you have an idea of what you want to do when you're in the death screen, Jim. You know, you want to push this place, you want to push that spot, but what happens is you come off the respawn and you're already under pressure. You're down 2 shots, maybe 3 shots in a fight, and your decisions are really being made for you.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying before, is that these boys know what's going to happen before you know what's going to happen. And the way they do that is how they map movement, how they maneuver around the map, how they pressure certain spawn points on the map. They control the full tempo of this map based on their positioning when they get these kills. Like, they know, for example, like straight away right here that, you know, where this other player is going to spawn and know straight away where to push. It's textbook.
Shady locks in a killing spree. Legend pinching from the opposite side now. Newbie gets taken down. It's still 10 kills to 0. We have a double goose at the moment, and that's not what you want to see. And maybe the French guys will show some sort of mercy live on stream in front of the masses. Give them a chance, give them a kill each, and let's not completely embarrass them. Newbie though, car 1, no shields. We're going to see another camouflage, and it's not going to matter too much, you see. And there we go. Kronos does get that kill, and Newbie again gets that kill. There's those 2 kills I asked for, and that now secures the camouflage as well, Jim.
That's perfect timing to get those kills. Come back. Are we? No. Okay, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. But this is what I was explaining about when I was looking at over Regret, is how they're collapsing as a unit, right? Legend would push from the car side, Shady would push from the P side. They'd isolate the player and they'd shove him on the split. And they're just constantly in a 2v1 situation. And it's so hard to counter that. It's so hard to counter that. But be interested to see what Kronos does with this camo. Seems like an unfortunate nade hit him, or a clutch nade from Cartel, and then sadly that camo's gone.
What we've seen there at the start of that, I don't know if you noticed, but Newbie died top middle to Legend, who was sitting in the window, Jim. And I feel like if you flip that script and you put the other players in that exact situation, you do not see a Legend or a Shady die top middle to that player in the window. And those things you really cannot do when playing against a team of this caliber.
Yeah, it's you're exactly right. You wouldn't see a player like Legend peek in the window like you can see him here. He's just he's peeking because he has the advantage, right? But if he's down in a deficit, he won't challenge because he knows he's safe top mid. He knows he has his back covered by his teammate. Where maybe on the other hand, you know, that the cover's not quite there, or they don't feel comfortable, they don't feel safe, so you're kind of forced to challenge a battle that they're not comfortable doing. And that's exactly what it's like playing against Cartel. You're always forced in a battle that you're not comfortable to be in.
16 kills now to 4. Legend and Kronos just keep on popping one another's shields, but again you see Legend backing down, knowing he's probably the better player, but no, it gives him the respect and backs down and doesn't give him that +1 on the scoreboard, and that's heads up play. It's just really good professionalism on the side of Cartel rather.
Yeah, he's prioritizing the right kill, right? He sees that he's in both players are in 1v1s. All players are in 1v1. And Legend knows he has his 1v1 isolated, so he just ignores him. He just turns around. He's not going to die by him, so he just ignores him, helps out Shady, they get a kill, and then they push the second player as a 2v1. Like, you don't need to win your 1v1. You can position yourself to make your 1v1 irrelevant, and then pressure the other one. It's perfect.
And something, of course, that players who have maybe only started the game or maybe still haven't picked up on this is that you don't have to fight every single one-on-one engagement, Jim. It's not as important. You know, you get this +1 on the scoreboard doesn't matter that much if you can really make it. Help your teammate out and make it an easier job for him. And there's nothing more frustrating than every single gun engagement you go into is that you're fighting a player with full shields. But on the opposite side of that, on the flip side, when you play against players and your teammates have made one player half shields, and you get an easy cleanup, it just makes the game so much easier for all involved.
Yeah, definitely. And just to counter talk about what's actually currently happening on. Tier 3 grabbed the camo and they've actually got quite a few kills here. And they're actually doing what we've been seeing Cartel been doing back to Cartel. They're isolating them, they're pressuring the spawns, they're being aggressive on them, and it's really well played. Look at another kill, and they've brought this back in. It was 12-0, 10-0, and it's still an 8-kill lead to Cartel, but they're getting some good kills. They're isolating, they're pushing 2v1s, and it's really well done.
Newbie down bottom red base in the toilet area, biding his time, waiting for his teammate to make some picks, which he does. Takes him down to no shields, but unfortunately Legend hits every single bullet that he needed to, and fives Kronos and sends him to the death screen. And now a 1v1 engagement between Legend and Newbie. At this time, we haven't seen Legend is human. He does bleed. He has lost a 1v1.
That was unfortunate. Legend looked like he got 2 body shots right there. I could see on the health bar of Newbie that he had 2 body shots on him. I feel like Legend should have won that battle, but just choked out a couple of shots, didn't get that headshot. The one thing as well I wanted to notice as well, I think I've learned from playing against Legend, playing with Legend, is he never uses his thruster. I don't know if you can go into that kind of detail of watching him. And every single time he's in a battle, if he's got the first shot, he will not use his thruster because he's that confident in his 5 shots that he will kill the player, right? He's not bothering to use that split second to use a thruster pack to counter a shot. He knows his shot's that good that he will 5-shot the player. And if he misses that 5th shot, then you'll see a thruster from him. I've kind of looked into his playstyle to detail because he is such an exceptionally good player. But it's something I've definitely noticed about him.
They only need 2 kills now, do Shady and Legend. And it's an interesting point you make about thrust packs and when's the best time to use them. And maybe some of the more average players, I know I for one would use my thrust pack in every single gun engagement. It didn't matter whether I was up or down. I'd be spamming thrust. But there we have it. Legend 25 kills to 15. Legend with 15 kills. Shady compliments him with 10. And between the pair of them and every engagement that they had, there was 12. No, make that 13 assists if I do quick maths. So right. Great job from Cartel. But it must be said, Tier 3 found themselves in the winners' finals. They, of course, lost the series. They've lost the first 2 maps, and that will see them drop down. Maybe we'll see them again if they get another good run. We may see them in grand finals, but it looked as though if you compare what Divine Mind did and what this team did, Tier 3, Divine Mind put up more of a fight.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see Divine Mind versus Tier 3 in the losers bracket and see if they're in the losers bracket finals. Yeah, Divine Mind definitely put up a better performance versus Cartel, but I still want to give credit to these boys on Tier 3. They had a good swing in that truth game right there. Showed that they can play aggressive and they can, put Legend and Shady on the respawn, these high level players. So it shows a bit of sign of life for them, which is good to see. And I definitely want to highlight they can do it. It's just obviously Cartel are just on that next tier.
So maybe what Newbie and Legend or Newbie and Kronos need to do is just be a little bit more consistent and maybe try and match that pace throughout a whole game or a whole series as opposed to just doing it in patches, Jim. But what we will do is take a short break. We'll come back. We'll be jumping into the losers bracket before we do, of course, naturally head towards grand finals. We'll be back very soon. There goes his face. Seeker needs to stay alive. Needs help from Batchford. He just gets the grenade. That's enough. Every time you say that, Harry, they throw things. You need to stop. Norma. Oh no!